Hello, and thanks for joining us for yet another very exciting episode of The Executive Table with me, Mary Wamai. In this podcast, we look at the leadership journeys of our leaders in different industries and sectors. We see how they overcome diversity, their triumphs, their fears, their challenges, and the failures they had to overcome in their leadership journeys. We also take several lessons from our guests on how we can get ahead, build better businesses, build our skills to become better positions to identify and take advantage of the opportunities presenting to us and have more fulfilling lives for ourselves. Now, in recent episodes, we talked about the need for ourselves to create a level of financial security and financial independence. You told me that you have taken that lesson on why we need to plan our finances, but asked, how can I achieve this? This is the first of the series where we speak about how to create financial independence. Stay tuned. Remember to ask your questions, to give your comments, and seek clarifications using the contacts on the screen. I'm more than happy to respond to all of them at an appropriate time. We are at Two Rivers in Nairobi today. Our guest this time is another millennial, just like the other one we had the other day, who has done extremely well and at a very tender age took the mantle of leadership. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Kenneth Mbae, the Managing Director, Centum Real Estate. Let's dive right into the discussion. You're most welcome. Ken, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the session.
Thank you, Mary.
Welcome. Good to have you this morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So I think we'll just start the very easy one, your early life and your background, because you must have started somewhere to get to where you are. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you, Mary, and thank you for inviting us to the executive table and for additionally finding time to visit us at Two Rivers. My name is Kenneth Mbae. I serve Centum Real Estate, and I've worked with Centum Real Estate for now 14 years. I grew up in Kenya, educated in Kenya, joined the company as an intern, and took up several responsibilities, given additional roles to undertake, given additional projects to manage, and then over time got through various leadership positions to now heading a team that is doing projects across East Africa, providing homes and providing passive income and intergenerational wealth to millions of Kenyans and East Africans.
Wow, that's very exciting. But for Centum to give you a job, you must have gone to school. So would you like to tell us a little bit about your school background, your academic performance, and what you did to build your career to get to where you are?
Okay, thank you. I think I'm still waking up.
Yeah, let's go a little bit behind.
Okay. So I started, anyway, basic primary school. I went to a boarding school, then high school, then got joint admission board grades. I ended up in Kenyatta University. I did BSc Biochemistry. Then graduated. Then I had done an advanced management certificate at Kenya Institute of Management. Then got an internship position at Centum.
No, before you go to the internship.
Yes.
If you do, technically, if you do a degree, BSc in biochemistry, as you did, we would expect you, at least me as a layperson, would expect you to be working in some lab somewhere, wearing a coat and having those banners and I don't know what they call them. But it looks like you took a different direction after your academic achievement, a degree in biochemistry. I also noticed that you did your Kenya Institute of Management program where you are still doing your degree bachelor's course. Could you explain your thinking about your career advancement at that time. Why did you do that?
Thank you. So a bit of background. After high school and during campus life, I had opportunities to do a bit of work at a sports club, and I saw what business people were doing. My preference would have been to be in business side, either by BCom or something, and be a finance person. And I also did internship opportunities at a factory. I think my shift was either do sales or do business, but not be in a lab setting. So first I needed a job,
Yes.
and whatever job that came along the way is what I took. And the rest, I think, as they say, is history. If you have basic training in anything and you have the aptitude, you can actually train yourself in a course that is not technically exerting, maybe a doctor or something else. You can do anything.
Okay. Yeah. So you are telling us that your predisposition to working with business people made you want to do something with the people, not behind closed doors in the lab or, because that's what most of the researchers do. And that is why it pulled you to the front office of the business. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, that's correct.
And you found that was your passion. You love sales, you love dealing with people, so you chose to go on the business side.
Yes, so I like being on the floor, doing the work. I'm maybe terribly introverted, but to get things done, to get business moving, it's something I enjoy.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. So later on, I see like you also did an advanced management program and you specialized in real estate. Can you tell us why you did this a little bit later in your life?
Yeah, so after joining Centum and after working in various departments, first starting with being a cashier at a parking, and then going around all the departments, being trained. The organization is big on training. So at any given point, you'd get training about anything, leadership, about sales, about financial modeling, both locally and internationally. So as I carried on, I got some training at Harvard Graduate School of Design and did an advanced management program in real estate. I also went to University of Cambridge, Judge Business School, and did an advanced leadership development program. All these programs equip you with practical insights, and they also network you globally. You see what you're doing in Kenya is being done in other parts of the world, and you then get to understand where the world is moving to, what people are doing to remain competitive, and how they are developing their leadership skills. Myself and many of my colleagues have undergone similar programs. So it's a way of doing things around.
Now, just tell us, what is your greatest learning that you can remember from either the Harvard program or the Cambridge program, based on your interactions either with the faculty or your colleagues, in the program?
So I'll start with the greatest learning in the Centum environment. Is first being given the mindset that it's possible. Whatever you set your mind on, you can actually achieve it.
Yeah.
Two, you cannot achieve what you've not thought of. So you must have first a vision and a big dream, whether small or big, that you want to achieve, and you can actually pursue it and actualize it. Then in all these programs, I've realized that the world is run through a series of data. So people who are doing business across the world seem to deeply understand the data, where the world is moving to, where they are projecting 40, 20, 15-year horizon, and they take that and create an opportunity out of it. What is being done in Kenya and in the region is what is being done in the US, in Europe, in China, and in other parts of the world. The difference is the scale of these economies, but the fundamentals are the same, and Kenya and ourselves can create extraordinary businesses that then employ people and make a difference to our own lives and the life of the country and set us for the future.
Wow, that's amazing. So there's a quote that says that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams, by Eleanor Roosevelt. Do you agree with that quote, first of all? And in your case, when would you say that you saw the dream of becoming the managing director of Centum Real Estate? If you did, at what point did you see this?
I agree with the quote. There is nothing in this universe that has ever been created that did not start as an idea in anyone's mind. Everything that the humanity has been able to achieve started as an idea in someone's mind, and they chose to pursue it aggressively.
Yes.
Whatever it takes, and they got it out there. So there is that drive to get things done. I never set out in any day to be the CEO of Centum Real. I never even thought it could be achievable. I just kept getting additional responsibility. There's a project here, Kenneth Mbae can do it. There's something being done, please head the team doing it. Then I ended up here. But this is just a demonstration that it's possible, that if you sort of apply yourself, push yourself a bit, get things done, because no one rewards good intentions. People are rewarded based on results. You can achieve it. But then, just like I'll borrow from the matatu industry, if you had a high business yesterday, it doesn't matter that was yesterday. Today your car must, your vehicle, your bus must carry a similar load of passengers or higher. So every day you have to push yourself to achieve more. So
to a higher level.
Yeah, I can't be celebrating historical. I can only sustain this and maybe achieve a level of growth if I keep applying myself and working through the team to achieve more.
And making it better every day. Let's talk about the market in which we operate, because I know you have businesses in Kenya and in the region. And I got some statistics, and you need to confirm to me whether they are correct, that seems to say that as of 2024, only just about 61% of Kenyans own their homes. Confirm if the statistics are correct. And that's a decrease from 64% in 2013. Is that true? Or is that statistic right? Or what are, you're in the industry, so what are the actual statistics on home ownership?
I think the statistics is true. There's a lot of data from Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. 2 or 3 months ago, they published the basic housing report.
Okay.
That shows that most of the homes are owned in rural areas.
Okay.
And in urban centers like Nairobi, most people are tenants. So the data is correct. And the reason is, one, because the cost of ownership is quite high.
It's very high.
The cheaper, you only get cheaper properties, the farther you get away from the city. Which means for younger people and people working in town, you don't want to be waking up at 2 a.m. and getting home at 1 a.m.
Yes. Yeah.
You want to stay closer to the city. And if you can stay closer to your place of work, the quickest option is to just be a tenant. You live in a neighborhood you like, and you can shift if you change your job. Yeah.
Okay, with that background, I think it's time for you now to introduce your organization, that is Centum Real Estate. I saw some very quite impressive statistics in your report, and maybe you can take us through who Centum is, what you do, and more importantly, on the basis of what's your purpose? What is it that you strive to achieve as an organization in the marketplace? So just tell us a little bit more about Centum Real Estate.
Thank you. Centum Real Estate is an investor and a developer of mixed-use developments across East Africa. We build model cities and we focus on very fundamental things. For you to be productive in any day, it depends on how you spent your night. And 90% of our time, up to 90% of our time is spent in a real estate setup. You're in the office like we are now. You're at home for 8 hours.
In a building.
Yeah, which is like 40% of your time. You're in a mall. You're in the gym. You're in a place entertaining yourself.
Or manufacturing.
Yeah.
For that matter.
The period that you're not in a real estate setup is maybe 10% when you're on the road or something like that. Now, of that proportion of of your time, 30 to 40% of your time is spent at home.
Yeah.
And this is where you have time to relax, you have time to unwind, and you have time to be productive. So we focus on that bit for you to enjoy the most, for you to have the best time, so that when you come the following day to the office, you're productive to your highest capacity. 2, if you're bringing up a family, we want that your kids, your own family members, enjoy the environment that they live in. Now, if that is done and people are productive at that level, then from an economy and from a country perspective, the living standards go up. Now, for a community to coexist, people want a place they can generate income. So we create offices, industries, and they employ people. They generate economic activity. Then they stay in their homes. Then they have some disposable income, they shop. Then they have families and kids who need to go to school. They go to school. They have some disposable income. You want to live well, they spend. So we create an entire ecosystem that supports everyone in any given neighborhood. That's one bit of it. Now, arising out of that, real estate is one of the many investment vehicles you can have, and it can generate for you passive income if you're renting it out. It can also create for you generational wealth if you're thinking about your legacy, and it can also increase your wealth. Most of the, if we were to ask here to do wealth declaration, and where you've seen wealth declaration forms being done, 60% of the wealth is either in a house or in a parcel of land. The rest are not as high. So we focus on that basic element of our home. Population across Kenya is growing. So Kenya now, I think we are 53 or 54 million people. We have 14 million homes, precise 13.9 million homes.
15 million.
13.9 million homes across the country.
Okay.
We have 1.6 million homes in Nairobi, and the population is projected to be 62 million people in 2030.
Yeah.
So these people must be housed one way or another, and they need decent housing. Just you're in an environment where you like the gardens, the parks, there is water, there is power, and the quality of life is good. Uganda is the same. I think there are 48 million. Tanzania, there are 67 million. Ethiopia, there are 125 million. So the country, Rwanda, there are 14 million people. And the rate of population growth and urbanization is increasing.
It's very high.
So until we discover somewhere else of how people can stay, I see housing as the only way. So this business, you can take a view and you can say in 2050, I foresee people will just be staying in homes.
So we have to build our homes here on earth first.
Yes.
Yeah, before we go to the other one. Yeah. Okay, that's amazing. Now, there's this concept of we are told to innovate or die.
Yeah.
It's Peter Drucker one of the business magnates who said that. And that emphasizes that businesses must constantly evolve and adapt to stay relevant in a rapidly changing environment, or risk becoming obsolete. Now, my definition of innovation is identifying a societal problem, which you seem to have, and then finding a solution for it. That is the definition of innovation. Now, as the leader in Centum Real, can you tell us more about how you are actually trying to create that scenario where hopefully, when we look at these statistics later on, maybe in another few years, every person in the region will own a home, both in the rural areas and also in the urban centers, which you said right now are lagging behind in terms of home ownership. So tell us exactly what you are doing as an institution to make this dream a reality.
So you have to innovate. If you don't, and there are many case studies of businesses that ran out of business.
Ideas and died.
And they were pioneers, some of them in innovation, never implemented, and they went out of business. So you have to wake up every day and be worried that you be taken out of business. But what we've looked at is how can we create communities that will be there for several years? How can we help address this housing need? From the statistics you just mentioned, the pent-up demand, the people who are waiting for homes in Kenya, is estimated to be 2 million homes. Wow. Pent-up demand.
Right now.
Then every year, the total demand in the country is 500,000 homes are required. But the supply, the houses that are built by Centum Real and many others,
and everybody else,
is 50,000 homes. That's an estimate.
10%.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then there's the 2 million homes that we've not touched.
Even touched.
And there's this 500,000 that is required. Why is it required? For instance, every year, the average graduates who graduate from all these universities and colleges across Kenya is nearly 1 million.
Yeah.
Now, these people move to economic centers to seek opportunities. So they either move to Nairobi or the county headquarters or the other big cities, Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisumu, and the rest. So if we assume, and not an assumption, 80% of those guys move to urban centers, that's 800,000 people who end up in the city. If you take maybe 80% of them or 70% come to Nairobi, for instance, that's 400,000 people or more who end up here. Then there are experts across the region who end up coming to set up base here. Then the international companies around. So these are the people who drive demand for housing. Now, in the absence of supply, that's why now you take anything that is available and you overpay for it. So what Centum Real is trying to do is to identify where the housing gap is, which are the neighborhoods that people like, and what sort of community can we put up there with decent housing that will be attractive to city or urban center residents, and that becomes like a model that can be adopted by ourselves and any other. Now, that's the first gap. 2, Kenyans ordinarily want to do a side hustle, and you want to have another line of passive income. Should there be a career earthquake, should anything happen, and your employer can't pay you, at least you have another line of and one of those passive income that you can create is through real estate.
Rental income.
You can have rental income. From the same reports I've seen, even the 2019 census report, is 9 in every 10 Nairobi residents are tenants. So meaning if you have a good house, nicely priced, you can get a decent rental income out of it. Real estate is also capital intensive. We have to figure out how do we finance it. So we've taken it among ourselves to go and secure financing for our customers. So we start with the customer. We ask, can a tenant afford our rent? Our rents are generally affordable. So we say, yeah, they can afford.
Can you give me a figure in terms of Kenya shillings? How was the tenancy rental
So our rent,
range?
we've built houses that rent for 20,000.
20,000.
All the way to 500,000.
So you pick the one that works for you,
You
based
pick the
on
one,
your income.
Yeah, you pick the one that works for you.
Wow. Okay.
And then we take that 20% and ask, can it generate a 9 or 10% rental yield, a return to the customer? So the price point will give you 9 or 10%. If it does that, then it means it can be attractive for financing from a bank, a SACCO, or the KMLC mortgages,
other
financiers. So we go and we've partnered with almost all banks to provide financing to our customers. We've partnered with SACCOs to also provide financing to our customers. SACCOs, depending on how much you save and depending on their scheme, can fund between 7 to 10% of 10 times your saving. Let's say I've saved 100,000 with a SACCO. They can finance my home up to 10 times my saving. For home ownership now, you need just to have 10% deposit. Example, if the house is 2 million shillings, you just need a 10% deposit, which is 200,000. And then the rest you pay during the construction duration. What that has done, it's simplified and made it quite affordable on how you own a home. First, you have a dream, I want to be either a landlord or I want to have a home. Then how do I finance it, or where do I buy? You say, I want to buy from a credible developer, and you go and check the house, and then we give you flexible payment terms, and when we finish our construction, we hand you over to a bank or to a SACCO, and then that way you're able to earn. Now, the only product that I know you can afford without having any shilling is real estate, because you can get financing for any product that is below 10.5 million, can be financed 100% by banks, and through that KMLC loan product, where the interest rate is 9.5%, whereas in the normal commercial mortgage, I think is at 16%. So where I'm headed with this is you can actually walk around the entire Nairobi looking at houses, neighborhoods, and you select the one you want.
And you pick the one that you want.
Yeah.
So long as you can afford the monthly installment.
Yes.
Okay, you've talked about the KMLC, but for the sake of our viewers, you can explain who KMLC is in full, and what that's really the low-cost housing program, how it works, because I have found it very, very attractive, especially for those who are not earning or are not on the very high income earning bracket. So you can explain a little bit how it works.
So KMLC is a government entity.
Kenya Mortgage Refinancing Company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company. It's a government entity that was, I think, put up to support the demand side of housing by providing capital for that would allow banks to provide cheaper mortgages. So they have advanced money. I think they disburse their mortgages through various banks. And the beauty about it, the mortgage is a single-digit interest rate. So the mortgage rate is 9.5%.
Wow.
And they finance up to 10.5 million shillings.
The cost of the house.
The cost of the house.
Will be 10.5 million maximum.
Maximum.
But that's a high threshold. If you look at the majority, maybe they are within that income bracket, right?
Yes, the majority would be in that income bracket. It needs to be your first home. And I think that then pushes our mortgage rates up.
Yes.
And allows people to own homes. And it's not as expensive. The difference between the rental and the interest rate is not too high. So maybe your rental income would be 40,000 and your mortgage repayment would be 50.
So you are just substituting the rent you pay to your landlord.
Yeah.
Now you become the owner and
Yes.
occupy the same house,
Yes.
and you pay the bank or the financier
Yes.
the monthly installment.
Yes.
So it's great. And is it true also that the rates are fixed for the duration of the loan?
Yes, the rates are fixed for 20 years.
So they will never be subjected to the volatility that we see sometimes happening in the market.
Yes.
Yeah, when the interest rates misbehave.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the rate is fixed. You can take a view on it. And the beauty with the real estate is over that period of time, 20 years, anyway, you'll have paid down your own.
Yeah.
Your value of property may have
It's
gone
going
up.
up, yeah.
So it's a win-win for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
The case study that has been done, it's worked very well. I think you're in the banking sector. For an extended period of time, there were 27,000 mortgages in the country.
Yes.
And those were largely people who work for banks
The
and government.
the higher income earners. Yes.
So in 2024, the bank supervision report, we've seen a jump in those mortgages. 2,400 additional mortgages were disbursed. And now the country is at 30,015 mortgages. A 20 billion jump even in the value of mortgages disbursed.
Yeah.
So it's working and people are
And
taking
they are
up.
taking advantage of
So this
that.
year, maybe those mortgages will go to 35,000.
Yes.
And for context purposes, a country like South Africa, the population is 63 million people. The number of outstanding mortgages is 1.6 million. Kenya,
And we are at 30,
Kenya, we are 53 million.
53 million
Million.
people, and we only have what, 26?
30,000
30,000.
mortgages.
Wow.
So that as a factor of the GDP is
It's very
0.135%,
small. Yeah.
while in South Africa it's 15%.
Yeah, but you see, for me, I choose to see the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because it means that that's the untapped market.
Yes.
It's a great opportunity also for, both for the investors and also for developers like yourselves,
Yes.
and for the financiers also.
Yes.
Who would like to do business in that space. So it's a positive thing, and it's also good that it's happening now.
Yeah.
So let's see how the numbers go.
So I think eventually, there's a
We
huge
will
opportunity.
hopefully see movement in the right direction in
Correct.
terms of numbers and affordability and also, availability.
Yes.
Because I guess it will also spur the developers to develop more.
Yes.
Yeah, because now it's easier for the customers to get financing.
Yes.
From the mortgage refinancing company through the financiers.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's amazing. I mean, for me, it's a great development. Now, when we are still on provision of affordable and other kind of housing, one of the complaints that I personally have seen is the breach of trust that is affected by failed projects in that segment, in that sector. So would you like to say something about that and what Centum Real is doing to rebuild the trust of the purchasers and the customers and the consumers in this sector? Because a lot of them have been hit badly in various projects.
So we've experienced, just like every other developer in the country, we've experienced the best side of completing projects on time and building a credible name. We've also experienced finishing project ahead of time.
On time.
And delighting customers.
Not just on time, but ahead of time. Wow.
We've also experienced not finishing projects on time and having significant delays. Real estate is quite fast, capital intensive. It's quite expensive to build. Two, it's prone to, it's a supply chain business. You have control of very small components. Today, if anything happens across the shipping lines, the cost of building materials
and the
goes
materials are on the way.
They go up by 100%, by 200%.
Yes.
If interest rates change tomorrow, your financing costs go up. If steel things happen where the mining is happening, the price of steel would double. there are many things that anyway, but you chose to be in that business, so you can't.
You have to handle it.
You have to deliver
one way or another.
You're also working with a pool of experts, contractors, and the rest, and they also experience certain shocks. Also, the interest rates could go beyond, because now you're in affordable space.
Yes.
Your margin is 10-15%. If interest rates are in 20-25%, it means you build, you finish, you hand over, and you look for money to pay everyone. Because
it's at a loss. So you've actually made a loss.
Yeah, so some of our projects have had delays. Cascadia, the one you can see across. So for a period of time, construction sort of stalled for many stories. But now it's resolved. Construction has moved on. It's been funded again, and we are carrying on. There are projects like Riverbank and Roft that were finished ahead of time. Customers have made nearly 20 million in cash realizable. The value moved from 35 to 55 million. Riverbank, the value has moved from 15 to 21 million. So what we've learned is real estate is you have to work every day to mitigate risk.
Yes.
So first, a financing risk. Two, is there a market risk? And then a supply chain risk. Then a government risk. If there are delays at the land registry, you finished a project, the bank will only disburse a mortgage when security is perfected.
Yes.
If it's not perfected, you don't have the house, the money sits with the bank, and all of you are in distress.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
There is nothing you can do. Then the customer financing element. But in business, I think there are cycles of ups and downs. What you can't do is remain down. And if customers see that you're doing your best to resolve the issues, then they feel comfortable. And even as these delays happen, the value of the houses go up. And that's what the experience we've had. But we want to strive to be at the top and not come down.
There's another issue that buyers deal with.
Yes.
I mean, you have bought this house, whether it's a commercial one or mostly residential.
Yes.
And the moment the money is fully paid, you take occupation.
Yeah.
And that's when the reality hits that there's no water.
Yeah.
Power is an issue.
Yes.
Even the sewer is an issue. And this is based on real life complaints,
yes,
from buyers. How do you as Centum deal with that in your projects?
So that's a problem that happens across. If you are to build your own home and you try and test everything, even when you finish, the shower is not working, the sink are not working, and these are brand new things. They sort of not work. But what we've done, because we're doing large-scale mixed-use developments, it means we are in these developments for such a long time.
Yeah.
So we are finishing this building and starting the next. And the same customers are with us in this ecosystem. They will, of course, come back and say that this doesn't work, that doesn't work. But what we've done in our projects, we've put in the basic infrastructure first. Water, power, sewer, that is in place before we start. During construction and 6 months before completion, we bring our property management team. So they start testing the solar water heating system, if it's working. They start testing if there is power. They start testing if the drainage system works nicely. And then we have the defect liability period with the contractor, where they can fix all these issues. And then we have a customer service element that if you're in the house and anything fails, we strive to make sure that it's fixed. And these are real life examples that we experience. We also additionally experience that power, cost of water goes up and people are not happy around it. So we also try and do energy efficient installations so that your cost of power, water is not as high. In fact, you should be achieving some saving.
How many units have you delivered so far?
we've delivered 1,250 or 53 units across in Nairobi, Vipingo at Uganda.
Okay. Within the region.
Within the region.
Okay.
Which
and
is
what's in the pipeline?
We have 2,400 in the pipeline.
In the pipeline.
And we have a whole pipeline that we want to do 10,000 units. But remember, he said that the demand in Kenya alone, the annual demand is 500,000. We are delivering 50,000. Uganda is the same.
Yes.
So it's not anything worth speaking about. If in all this scheme, we are just doing 1,000 units.
You not even scratch the surface.
Yeah,
but you are doing what you can.
Yes.
In the circumstances for now.
Yes.
Now, we get a question a lot from our viewers on, actually they ask a question.
Yeah.
Should I buy a ready house or should I build one? Should I rent a house or should I buy one? Now that you're in that space, maybe you can give us a few insights on if I was to make a decision.
Yeah.
Should I buy a ready one or build? Should I rent or buy? Because those are the usual questions that people ask and they don't know how to go.
So the first I would start is a context of where are you from maybe an economic perspective. What can you afford?
Your income.
Your income, your family setup, and where you're working. Let's say you want to build. Now, and I work in CBD and maybe your spouse works in Upper Hill. So the where you can really afford, if you're not a high income bracket, where you can really afford plots and buy and then build is in the outskirts of Nairobi, which means your travel time to and from the office would be extended. You need to wake up very early. You need to leave the office very late because of traffic.
Yeah.
If you have a family, then the other consideration is kids.
Yes.
Which school they are going to. If I go and build there, will they be able to go to the same school? Then the other thing is amenities, the infrastructure. Is there water? Is there road? Is there power?
Area.
So if you're starting out as an investor, I would say first you buy. You consider buying from a developer. You go and negotiate from an off-brand developer. Because your upfront capital requirement is 10%.
It's not very high.
Then you can make monthly payments as they carry on. Then they deliver your first unit. And then now you can see the lessons. These guys either kept time, they were behind time. They can be your school. You can be going there and speaking to the people on the ground, finding out why they are not moving as promised, what are the delays, and then you have your first home. That first home can be, you may rent it out for rental income, you may stay in it and then shift out of it at a later stage. So that gives you at least an entry level. If you which every Kenyan has, if you tried building, you know what happens. Now I think it's at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
If you're building, yesterday you supplied a whole truck of cement and ballast
and stones.
And now your fundi are calling you and saying, too much meat. So the thing really burns money. So it's an expensive but a nice experience. So you can also try building, but it depends on your circumstances. Try and build when you have full financing, because your project may be stalled midway. Let's say I took a loan to build my home, and then midway I'm not able to complete it on time, or make even it habitable.
Yes.
Then I have a loan deduction, and I cannot move into the house.
And you can't move in, you are still paying rent.
Yes. Then I have to convince my family or myself to move in, just fix the windows only, and move in and be fixing while I'm in there.
It's not ideal.
Which is not ideal, but that's how homes are built. It's
but
called
don't we all do that anyway?
Yeah, it's called continuous.
When I entered my first home,
yes,
we had not done the floor. We just did red oxide.
That's normal. That's a standard process in Kenya. Because when I take my construction estimates to my fundi, they give me an estimate of what it will cost, and they can look at you and see you're deeply worried. If you say no, they cannot proceed with construction. So they find out what your budget is, and they say, okay, we can do it for this amount.
Yes.
Then that amount ends
when
you've
you're
just done
not
the
even
structure.
3/4 way.
Yes, yes. So that's standard. But I would say for the first home, I would encourage, and given your circumstances, you buy
An affordable one
an
at
affordable
a price which works for you and your
Yes.
family.
And then look at it not today, but 10 years from today.
What will it
What
be
value
worth?
will it? What rent will it generate? Your second home, you can build. Rent versus buy depends on the neighborhood and where you're working and what your use is. If it's rent to stay in, it needs to be. If it's rent, you just select the best neighborhood, the best lifestyle you like, because the cost is not as high. If it's now to buy, you have to take into consideration your ability to service this mortgage for the next 20 years. Even if you don't service the mortgage, you need to be paying rent for 20 years. What would happen for you to sustain that kind of lifestyle?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, shifting gears, is there an organization or a book that has made some impact on you in your journey of leadership? And what insights have you learned from there?
Quite a number of books.
Tell us about some or one. Our viewers also want to read it and become like you.
So the first one is I got when I joined here, how to make friends and influence people.
How to make friends
and influence
people.
I think it's by Dale Carnegie or someone.
Carnegie.
Yes.
Oh, nice, nice.
It teaches you how to interact with, because every day, irrespective of what you do, 100% of the businesses are people, 100% of our customers, even the business like Centum.
Yes.
It's people.
It's people, yeah, basically.
Our customers are
You're building
people.
houses, but your customer is the person.
Yeah, even the management are people.
And the consultants, and it's all about people.
My colleagues are people, our customers are people. So you have to interact with people every day, and you have to find a way of working with them, to influence them, to follow you, to become your friends. So I found it
very, very useful.
I get those lessons out of it. Now I'm in sort of leadership. This one I've read continuously. It's called Billionaires in Africa.
Billionaires in Africa?
Yeah, by Chris Bishop.
Are you already one?
No, I'm very far from being one.
But you're on the path.
Yeah, but I'm billionaire in seconds. So if I will live in this world to 90 years,
you'll be a billionaire one day.
The outstanding time between now and when I go is billions of seconds. So to start with, I'm a billionaire in seconds.
Tell us about the book. So what are the insights that you have learned from it?
The book I write, these guys who are doing businesses across Africa, from Dangote to guys from South Africa, Egypt, Tanzania.
Top entrepreneurs.
Top entrepreneur, Kenya, Guru, and the rest.
Wow.
And there is nothing that is easy. When their stories are out of this world, the quantum of failure, the quantum of risk, the magnitude of problems they have had to deal with to set up their businesses. But it gives you context that, what you're doing, other people are doing. You will fail, but you have to take calculated risk, and the business will grow. The first point is to start.
Yeah, so that seems to remind you, and I also believe that failure is part of success.
Yes.
You cannot aspire to succeed if you don't accept failure as part of the process.
Yes.
I hear you saying that, and that's coming from our billionaires and entrepreneurs.
Yes, but when you're employed like now I am, you cannot incubate failure, you'll be fired. So you have to fail.
You have to be very careful what failures you do.
You have to fail. You have to have more success than failure.
And learn the lessons from the failures.
And you can't wipe people's money.
Yes.
Fail.
You are carrying people's risks in your hands.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to be careful.
Then the rest. There are many.
Which is the third one?
There's one now called produced by Mackenzie Partners. It's called the
Mackenzie.
the
Okay.
the CEO Excellence.
CEO Excellence.
It covers very many CEOs across the world of the best performing companies.
Is it Fortune 500?
They actually sampled, I think, 1,000 CEOs across
1,000. Wow.
across the entire world, in Middle East, some in Africa. Even James Mwangi is featured there in several paragraphs on the equity story. The CEO's excellence. So it tells about leadership, working with people, working with your stakeholders, working with your board. So it gives you a holistic definition of what a CEO should do, whether it's a startup, a big business. So I found a few lessons there.
Okay, okay. So what you are telling, especially the young ones, is that they need to make reading materials, useful materials, part of their day-to-day lifestyle.
Yes, my own thinking.
Yeah.
I read anything. You have to
useful insights.
Yeah, even if it's rubbish, you find something. you can read anything. You find something, someone knows something you don't.
Okay.
But you have to keep reading.
Just keep reading.
You have to read a
learn
lot.
Something new.
You have to read a lot.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing we are doing that has never been done.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Now, in your journey as a leader at Centum Real, do you have an interesting story for us, like, an experience that has happened to you that you'd like to share with us, that also has shaped the way you lead, or you learned a few lessons from?
They're very
tell us one, just one.
There are very many stories. One is maybe from the extended family, my own family. The expectation is I'm the CEO, so every CV you're given
to find a job.
And if you don't, anytime I'm featured on the news or something, you get congratulated. But this time I got a text from one of my uncles, and he accidentally, I don't think he meant to send it to me, but I have it. He sent and wrote to somebody. He was
writing to somebody else.
It's my nephew. Pretty useless, cannot employ him.
Oh no! Useless man.
I still have the text, so that's the context of.
Did you forward it to him?
No. And I just.
So he doesn't know you know.
That's a customer feedback.
Oh my.
But the expectation is you can open many doors, many things.
Yes.
But really you can't, because also you're not working for your relatives.
Yes.
You're working for an institution.
Yes.
You're not able to give opportunities as such, though you have to use your network to open up opportunities for others.
Yes.
But there is an expectation. These leadership roles come with great expectation from yourself, the people you work with, your own family, and extended community.
Yes.
They have a great level of expectation about you. And you never know when you're meeting expectations of various stakeholders. I thought I was useful.
Until you read that.
Until I read that.
Yes.
Then also we do a scholarship program in Vipingo. We now we have educated 450 kids, bright and needy, who would otherwise not have gone to high school. From really underprivileged families. We also do vocational training for some of them.
Still under Vipingo?
Under Vipingo, so we give them an employable skill set, either plumbing, masonry, where they can go and work. Occasionally when you pass through a supermarket and you have to bring something home. One day I went to Naivas, and there was a commotion at the counter as I was trying to pay. It was not something, it wasn't much, but someone had paid for me. So I didn't get what it was, but someone paid, and then they said, Ken, you guys paid for my training in Vipingo, and now I work with with the neighbors, and I don't know how to say thank you. So I did.
Oh, yeah. So they were at the counter,
yes,
and when they saw you and
yes,
you were just doing, you didn't even know them.
No, I didn't know them. So,
yeah, but so you had done something great for them.
Yeah, the organization had done something great for them.
So you see, this is the only way I can say thank you.
Yes, yes.
Wow, so that's amazing.
Some of those humbling retro things. The others is some of our investors have sort of created, how do I say, a rental pipeline. Some make 500, others millions of shillings in rent, where you recommended, they invested, the projects were finished, and now they can, they tell you, they send you their statement and saying, okay, I was walking around and this just came into my bank. Thank you, I just remembered, and thank you for having recommended. Then Rastri is the first graduate trainee program that we took while I'm the head of business. We 28 of them joined us.
28 students.
Yeah,
from graduates.
Straight from campus, and they are working with us, and they're in sales.
Yes.
So some of them have done good sales pipeline, made commissions, and they've been able to buy. They have said, okay, don't pay me my commission. We are putting it into my first home.
Into a savings.
Yeah, into
to
the
buy
first
a
home.
house.
Yeah, so they say that my commission is good enough to pay for a deposit of a 2 or 3 bedroom house. I want to own that home.
A fresh graduate.
Yeah, they've just worked for 7 months. So there are many stories, but those are some that touch my heart.
That's quite amazing.
Yeah.
Because I guess it's one of the ways that we create a legacy by doing things that make a real impact.
Yes.
Significant impact in the lives of others.
Yes.
That's how we really create a lasting legacy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. One of your projects at Centum Real is the 2 rivers.
Yes.
I don't know whether to call it the mall or whatever. It's more than a mall. It's curated as an international hub for business, leisure, and stay, providing world-class experience to residents and visitors alike, with offerings such as office, retail, hospitality, sports, lifestyle, and residential amenities, among others. Now, can you explain what you mean by mixed development? Because some of us are used to either a housing project or a commercial project. So just explain this concept and how it works.
So the concept is, as the word, mixed development, like either mixed beans
maize and beans,
everything
together.
So the concept is you integrate everything. So you have residential, you zone an area where people stay, you do another area where people work. So they walk from their place of residence to their offices, and you zone another area where they shop and entertain themselves. So they can walk from office to work, to their place of work, to their place of entertainment, to their place of shopping. Then you give them facilities that support, that people need. Like now you need a hospital, because health, if you're staying in that ecosystem, health is a requirement. So you have sort of a hospital. Hotel, because if businesses are operating, they are bringing people to and from the same neighborhood. So you have business hotels. You have lifestyle amenities, so jogging tracks, sports and recreational facilities, swimming pools, and all the amenities. But then you do them as one town, one neighborhood in one place. Then now people can take that concept of live, work, pray, grow, thrive, worship in the same 15-minute ecosystem. So it's integrated, and then you make it a social city, so that anyone can meet everyone. Mary can meet an intern in the same environment,
and it's okay,
and no one feels like
out of place.
Like out of place.
Wow.
Yes.
Is it true that it is the largest such development in Eastern Africa?
It could be true. There are new ones coming up every day.
Oh, there are new ones now.
So yeah,
but you are the pioneers.
We
I
are the
imagine.
pioneers.
Yeah.
And this is developed. Every element of it is there. So the mall is there.
It's complete.
The office is there. The residential is there.
Are there.
The hotel is there. The healthcare is there. So every component not
is
proposed,
now done.
It's done. So now it's the others that will come to add into that ecosystem. Yeah.
Okay, now tell us, because as a leader in such a big business,
Yes.
you have to manage so many stakeholders.
Yes.
So maybe you would tell us how you manage your stakeholders, because I imagine you have so many of them. You have consultants, you have employees, you have agents, you have customers, you have regulators, you have how does that happen in a single day of a CEO's life?
So before I forget on Two Rivers, this in 2010 was Napier grass. Everything.
There was nothing.
There's nothing.
You started from scratch.
In 2014 is when the mall started. The residential started in 2020. So 14 years ago, there was nothing.
Yes.
It was on paper.
Yeah.
If you do another 14 years, that will be 2039, say 2040.
Yes.
You can imagine
what it will be.
What it will be. I'm sure it will all be built up, and the properties people will be selling strictly under appointment with clear proof of financing. So if you take it into the future, you can just see the potential that is there. In a short period of time, it's been put together.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to think. I don't want to be the grandfather that people blame was dancing on people who are investing.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
and Centum is also very large in land banking.
Yes.
So I can imagine that potential is multiplied across different cities. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's great.
So before, that was the first question. The second question you asked is, how do I become effective in simple terms? So first, I work for an institution that has investors, and those investors have put together a board that delegates their vision. What should this organization achieve? So first you have clarity of the what, because I'm not doing the how it will be achieved.
Yes.
But you get that from the shareholder and the board. You align that needs to be done.
You must understand their vision for you to be able to execute on that.
You understand their vision, but I can't do it alone. I work with a team. That team and the set of leaders that work under me, we have to articulate it very clearly that this is where we are going. And this is, many routes can take us there, but we must end up in this location. And this is your contribution in this journey. So that is clear. We work in a regulated environment. To build, you need approvals from NEMA to everyone. So there are all those government bodies, stakeholders you have to work with to get them to move to align with what you want to do. Then we work with many financiers, customers. You have to engage them through your team and where you can yourself to just support you, because as you do these things, everything does not go to plan. So you have to bring it back to plan. Then you have now to be reviewing every so often. We said we are headed in this direction. How come we are not getting there? And lastly, I have to be effective myself as the leader. And my effective is I mobilize through people. Other people do all the work. And I only do what Kenneth Mbae can do. I'll delegate everything else to my team, and maybe that's how we've been able to do this.
To be very effective.
But it's an incredible talent. Most of them are too bright than I am. So they will do everything in split second. They'll understand it clearly, and you empower them.
There's a quote that says that a good leader not only possesses the skills to guide a team, but also inspires others to become leaders in their own right and fostering a culture of empowerment and positive change. So my question to you is, how do you inspire them to help you to achieve on your purpose and your vision as a leader?
So first is setting what it can be, what we're trying to do, and just showing that first, the limitation is not money.
Yes.
Because money, you look for money.
You can get it.
You can get money.
Yes.
What is difficult to find is a good opportunity and to dream and put it together. So first, because that's a power of imagination of the brain, which we all possess, that all of us can imagine something and it can be done. Two, it's articulating like what I'm trying to speak to preach here.
Yes.
It's a form of, I hope they find it as a form of inspiration that this has been done. It can be done. It's not successful, but continuously applying ourselves, you can see results are coming along, but we need to sustain the momentum. Three is giving them the opportunity now. You're given a project to fail or succeed, but you do it.
Challenge.
You can watch all the videos on swimming and even read. But until you get to the pool and drink the water, it can't. You have to experience it.
It never happen.
Yeah.
But if they go to the deep end and they are not able to swim, what do you do?
We save them.
Okay.
And then you come back and start afresh. All of us have been given that opportunity. You end up in deep end. You make mistakes. But if for every 10 decisions you're making, 4 are good, 3 are horrible, another 3 are nothing to talk about, and you keep increasing the 4 that are good, you find things moving and becoming extraordinary.
So for you, how many good decisions are good out of 10? Okay.
When I was starting, maybe 3.
3 out of 10?
Now I'm at 4.5.
Wow. You are just at 4?
Yeah.
And you are where you are?
Yes. You can make 10 decisions and they're all bad.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
not
but
too bad.
I'm lucky maybe of the 10, 4.5 are good.
The 4 are very good.
2 could be very good.
2 are very good.
2, another 2 are there.
Yeah, just
another 3 are bad. Even I regret having made them. And the other 2 are just lukewarm.
Yeah, there are decisions you make and almost immediately you know, wow, that was the wrong decision.
But you learn from it.
You learn as you go along.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you probably find it normal that you became a leader. At what age? When you became the MD, how old were you?
So I was...
You were about 30?
Yeah, I was the deputy CEO.
Were you even 30? You
Admina.
became deputy CEO at what age?
I think 28.
28.
Yeah.
So maybe you think that is normal, but it is not normal for
Centum.
someone to become a deputy second in command at that tender age. Now, and then after how many years? 4 years, become now the full CEO?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
About 4 or 5 years of acting and deputy. So now just tell us, what have you had to do to get to leadership at that tender age? What are the attributes? What are the things that you had to do to get there?
So I think it's normal in Centum ecosystem.
In Centum, but not everywhere.
All of us are too young. I'm one of the oldest.
Yeah, that's why you think it's normal, but out there, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not normal.
So I think first maybe I was lucky to start with, but what I found to sort of work is to be the person people go to when they want something done.
Make yourself relevant.
Yes, just if this interview was to be done and I needed data on anything, just be the person who provides that.
People will call you. I need something for tomorrow, urgently.
Yes, then become that person.
Yes.
Then whatever you're given, however mundane it is, you do it with some level of extreme excellence. You go over and beyond. For instance, I asked someone in my team to just check for me this data I was sharing.
Yes.
And they would have shared Nairobi data. But I showed up with the data of the entire African continent.
Yes.
And insights of which country, where, a few months ago. So now, if I need anything else, of course, I'll go back to them because they'll come with something over and beyond what was asked for. Then just get, whatever you do, just get results.
You go over and above.
Over and very far beyond
the requirement at that point in time.
And then also do what people are not interested in. Because normally everyone wants to mount a winning horse. So you want something that has been proven to work and it's successful. That is what people want. You can shorten the path by taking what has not worked and no one knows the outcome. You can burn your entire career in that field, or you can make it work because
make it big time.
Yeah. So you take in your work environment, whatever you're doing, you can take those projects that people are not enthusiastic in, interested in, and you may start getting to win and a reduction in competition on that end. So it helps you to get things done. And lastly, train yourself, because the way I've understood, you're taken to school, you get knowledge, and then when you get out of school, you apply the knowledge. These are skills. So when you apply knowledge, those are skills, and that is what your employer pays you. Then when you start getting paid, you have some resources. The two foundations of your life is the skills and knowledge. That cannot be taken
from you.
Then now you start having a brand. People start knowing there's Ken Mbae, there's Mary, you're capable of doing. And then you create a network. That network is, you now know banks, you know other people, you know government. All this, the network, the money, the brand can be shaken. But fundamentally, the knowledge and skills cannot change.
They are within you.
So continuously invest in yourself. And that will take you, when you're given additional responsibility, you're not out of your breath. You can comprehend and execute things. That will give you more money. It will expand your network, and people will increase your brand awareness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there's something that you also need to talk about here.
Yes.
Because I know from your story that Vipingo was your baby. You started it from scratch.
Yes.
And you got a size of plantation, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
And now it is what it is. So you can tell us what it took for you to convert a bare size of plantation into the wonder that Vipingo has become today, and what you had to go through. That time you are not even a leader.
Yeah.
You are just in the support team.
Yes.
So just tell us something about what you had to do to get it going and get it to where it is now.
So Vipingo was not my idea. It was conceived by the board. It was James's idea, and the board. So I was just fortunate to
But in terms of implementation.
Yes, I was fortunate to have been given
the job to implement
the project.
Yes.
And to be told what can be done. And I think I listened on what can be done. And then we went to the ground and were present every day. Let me say it like that. But the first thing is the market study we did with the team. We understood that there was demand for first, let's say, housing.
Yes.
But the already homes in Mombasa were starting at 20 million across.
They were high end.
High end. So we came up with a product that was between 2 million to 17.
2 million?
Yeah, we had one bedroom at 2 million, 2 bedroom at 3, 3 bedroom at 4. And those became the cash cow, the Palm Ridge apartments. They were selling like hotcake. They gave us a lifeline. We also did a desalination plant that provided water. We did a cashew nut farm that brought industries. And we marketed it across, but also made sure that the project was built on time. So the first thing is first reasoning, agreeing to take the responsibility and moving there, and then working with the team on the ground every day to get, I think, a serious conviction that it would work. Now, other leaders have taken it up. Their GMs, their other managers have not been there for several months. So I outgrew Vipingo. So the other lesson is don't hold on to anything. When you're given the opportunity, execute it.
Do the best you can.
And then train someone else who can do it. Then fire yourself.
Wow.
Then that's the
fire
only
yourself.
Yeah, that's the only way.
So
to
you
grow.
fired yourself from Vipingo.
Complete. I've not been. The last time I was there was in October.
Wow.
Yeah. Completely.
Confidently.
I would never not have been here if I had held on everything in Vipingo.
And
not
the business
have
is going on very well.
It will go on very well. Even here, someone else will run it, and I grow. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, because you always say that unless you create capacity or succession for your role, you can never go ahead. You cannot go up.
Yes.
Because if the board wants to appoint you and give you responsibilities in Two Rivers or another project, and you are holding on to Vipingo, no one else can do what you do, then they can't take you from there because the business will collapse.
Yes, to answer that question on how you grow,
yes,
you don't
you
assume.
Empower others. It goes back to the issue of empowering others and allowing them to thrive in whatever they are doing.
Yeah.
I read somewhere like you closed your first deal in Vipingo on a Sunday.
Yes.
What does that mean? Sunday tunaenda kanisa. We go to church. We don't work.
So if you observe when people have time on Saturday, because most of the people who buy property are working. They're business people. They have time on Saturday. They have time on Sunday afternoon and public holidays. Even when you want to change your home, you'll go scouting for opportunities after church.
During the breaks when you are not working.
Yeah, so that is when you can sell.
Yes.
So the best time, if you're in sales in real estate, to be in a show house, to be anywhere is on Saturday, Sunday, or on a public holiday. Yeah, because that's when
people have time.
That's when the business people have time. That is when people come to see the houses. If you're not there, then the opportunity will not come. So I was there on a Saturday. We'd moved it to Vipingo on a Monday, 28th May 2018. And it was in June now, that week of June.
Yes.
I didn't even know how we'll be paid because it said give us let's go.
There was no money.
There was money, but we didn't want to ask. New project. We didn't want to ask for money.
No, but that project had no money.
It had no money.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to. We wanted to ask for money when we have money.
Let me ask you, Ken.
Yeah.
So are you also telling us that sometimes you really have to take a big risk in your career to get ahead?
You must.
That's exactly what you're telling us.
Yes.
Yeah, just talk a little bit about taking risks.
So we requested for 6 months to go and test. If it doesn't work, we come back to Nairobi and be reassigned other duties. But also we didn't ask for money. I don't know. We had so many strong conviction we'll make money. So wanted to say, send us this month's salary, but also in our deposit account we have money.
We've already made something.
Yes.
To justify asking for money.
Yeah, we are cash on cash. We're not asking for with nothing. We're not being helped 100%.
We are proving our usefulness.
Yes. So when that guy came, Brian, and we put a pitch, he was happy. He asked, when can I pay?
What?
I asked him if he has...
On the first meeting?
So I said, I would highly recommend this house is 70% sold, that you make a deposit.
Was it true?
No, there was nothing. But I would highly recommend you book. Because I'd spoken to many people and they're all gone.
Yeah.
So he said, okay, I'm too busy, I have no time. I said, you can leave your 2 checks So I was given
We'll bank them.
2 checks. We'll bank them.
Yeah.
And this unit is reserved. Yeah, so on Monday we banked our 2 checks, and that was the first 1.3 million.
Wow, the first sale.
Yeah, the first sale. But if I was not there on Saturday,
Yes.
on Sunday afternoon,
You not have closed it.
would not have crossed. If I was not prepared, would not have crossed, because we prepared the rate of offer, printed them, signed them, and gave them at that point. If I didn't know the trends, when to get customers, would not have known that I should be there on Saturday. So wherever you work, whatever you do, look at the pattern and look at the exception and focus on those unique times. Yeah. Like if you want to meet a CEO or someone, if you come Monday to Friday, no one will allow you. But you may find the guy comes on Saturday to work. You can get hold of him. So that level of patience there.
So what I'm hearing is that you have to understand the customer's behavior.
Yes.
You have to understand the gap in the market.
Yes.
And because you had to say 20 million is available. So if I do a house of 20 million, I'll be competing with everybody else.
Yes.
But no one is doing houses of 2 million.
Yes.
So that's where I'm going to enter the market, 4 million, because that's where most people are looking for houses. They are not available.
Yes.
And then you're also telling us that irrespective of what my letter of offer says, my letter, some of us say, my letter of offer says my working hours are between 8 o'clock and 5 p.m., Monday to Friday. You are not going to see me going to a customer on Saturday or Sunday. You miss the deal. And the project cannot survive with you there. So someone else will come to do it. A Ken will come and do it in your place. So that's what I wanted to emphasize.
That's correct.
That's the message I had from
you. That's the message.
Yeah.
And I think in your former place, when I was going to campus, that's when you were expanding everywhere. I think you also did the same approach.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I personally slept in the office a few times.
Yes.
Yeah, because things needed to be done. And someone has to do them.
Yes.
So you don't look and say, it's now 6 p.m., I'm going home. There's something urgent to be done.
Yeah, you can say so, but never complain when opportunities don't come your way.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't get rewarded for that.
Yes.
That time.
Yeah.
But later on, the rewards are huge.
Yes.
That's what I believe. Okay, so a bold and courageous leader, just taking risks when they needed to be taken, focus on information and research, strong on research. It has come out even here today. Really hard work, going out of your way, we call them duty plus, and meeting very tight deadlines.
Yes.
Can you explain what you understand by that? Meeting extremely tight deadlines.
I don't know why, but
that's what you do.
Yeah, you have to,
because the customer has expectation.
Yeah,
the company has expectations.
The company has expectations. Your shareholders have expectations. You also have expectations.
Yeah.
They start with you. Every end of the month, you have to pay rent by the 5th.
Yes.
Irrespective, you have to pay school fees on time. You have to shop on time. You have to provide for your family on time. So time, anything expands to the available amount of time. If you want to do something in 2 weeks, and as you know, all of us in Kenya, deadlines are there to be, things are done at the deadline.
At the very last minute.
Yeah, the last minute is when we do everything.
Yes.
So just I found a way to be a bit more urgent, to shorten the deadlines. So where you've control, you don't need to wait for 2 weeks if you could have done it today. You don't need to wait for the end of the month if you could have done it today. And those small things that you complete earlier, compounded over a month, are many. The impact is significant. So that's how I find it. But some circumstances may not allow you to finish things ahead of schedule. But at least you can uncomplicate it by having finished the bulk of it where you've control ahead of schedule and having some level of urgency. Because also opportunities will not wait for you. And I can give an example. If someone wants to buy a house, they come and look at our project. You don't give them the documents to buy. They walk into a competitor and they are given the documents. They buy.
Yeah, you lose the sale.
Yeah, so you have to move with that speed. Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's some research that seems to suggest that Dar es Salaam is going to be a mega city by, I don't know whether it's 2030 or have you seen that?
Yeah, yes.
So what's your view about the opportunities in the region?
The opportunities in the region are huge, and Tanzania, if you look at it, it's more urbanized. Most people live in urban areas than as a percentage than in Kenya.
Oh,
so
really?
Kenya, 69% of people stay in rural areas.
In Kenya?
In Kenya, just 72. Just 28 stay in urban areas.
In urban areas.
In Tanzania, if you look at it, 39% are in urban areas, and 61% is in rural areas. So it's a rapidly urbanizing area. So country. So people are moving to urban centers very quickly to get opportunities. If that is the case, then there is demand for housing because people are doing that rural-urban migration, and even the urban residents are also expanding within the urban areas.
The demand is high.
The demand is high, so that means the housing demand is huge. I know their mortgages are like 7,700 mortgages for a population that is 67 million people. So there is a huge opportunity, and same economics and same demand trends that are in Nairobi are the same ones in Uganda, are the same ones in Congo. I think they are much higher.
DRC is another upcoming market. Yeah.
Rwanda and all the East African countries is
and
the same.
Populations are growing very fast.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So there is a huge, this business can do well there because I think the demand is the same. It can do well in any other African country. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. You know, why I'm asking that is because sometimes we get too stuck in our locations, that we fail to see the opportunities elsewhere outside our comfort zone. Because if we are operating in Kenya, for instance, then Kenya is our comfort zone. So we are only thinking about the opportunities here. And then we forget that there's a wider population out there that can consume our products and services. So what would you like to tell the people, especially those who have aspirations to grow their businesses in the region? Should they go? Should they not go?
So I'll borrow from history, and the first one is religion. Wherever I'm a Christian, wherever Christianity was discovered over 2,000 years ago, had it stayed in that village, it would not have spread across the world.
That's true.
Even the other religions, wherever they were invented or how they started, they were pushed out.
Someone took the trouble.
Even the world of explorers, all these guys who went and discovered many places.
The Livingstones and the others.
And they remained in Europe, in wherever. The good things they brought and the bad ones would not have found their way here. Even the international businesses have been expanding. So long as you're meeting a need, there's a customer prepared to pay for it anywhere in the world. Today, Kenyans are across the world offering solutions. Also, there are people here who are working for companies elsewhere. So you should not be afraid to expand to any new market. I think it's natural to grow. So you will grow outside of your town, outside of your county, outside of your country, and outside of your continent, because every year you have to do better than last year. So growth is natural. You should take it with, there will be risk, but there is also reward. Kenyan businesses are now across Africa. And they're expanding, and I think after they finish this, East African expansion, they'll go to the rest of Africa. And maybe one day they'll be in other parts of the world. So I think it's just growing your market. So long as the product is relevant, you need to grow.
What should investors out there or business people who decide to venture out, what are the things that the critical things they need to look out for?
So the first,
based on your experience now in the region.
Yeah, the first one is the market. Is there a market? And is there a market you can address? And is there profitable in providing the solution? Is there profit? That's one.
Yeah.
To operate in every country, you need to understand the local rules. And if you can create partnerships so that you don't start from scratch. And now with the age of digital and internet, it's not hard. Like people who do clothing, all these distributions, even food, you can just order your products from anywhere. In Zambia, in Uganda, in Tanzania, in Mozambique, and the people deliver because they can be paid. And your product finds you here in the country. So you have a local partner there who understands the local nuances, the approvals, so that you don't go and pay school fees starting.
Yes.
Then you have to recruit a professional team and you align their incentive for them to make it work in that foreign country. And then you start small without taking significant risk and then grow. Because you can go there and get wiped out. Yeah.
Okay. We have a lot of viewers from Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania.
Yes.
So what would you like to tell them about what you are doing in their respective areas?
We are doing one of the most beautiful projects and neighborhoods you've ever been to in Uganda, in Entebbe, Garuga precisely, Palmarina. Almost 700 homes are ready. 700? Yeah, by the shores of Lake Victoria.
Wow.
A nice gated community. And that can be replicated anywhere in any of those countries. Two rivers and its ecosystem. You can remove it here, put it in Kigali, put it in Dar es Salaam, put it in Congo,
Kinshasa,
somewhere.
Lubumbashi.
It will work.
Yeah.
It's an ecosystem that anyone would want. And we are seeking, will one day, hopefully, set up shop in those countries. And some of those investors have invested with us and they enjoy the lifestyle they see.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So what you are saying, you have proved concept in Kenya.
Yes.
And Two Rivers and Vipingo are some of your flagships.
Yes.
And now you feel that you just replicate the model.
Yes.
Of course, with a little bit of customizations, to fit the market.
For the local market.
For the local market.
But it's the most difficult thing to create is a market. The market, as we've seen from the data, far exceeds supply. So there's an opportunity in the market. The difference is how you execute it. But the market is there and we have a scalable, profitable model that can be implemented anywhere that creates jobs directly and indirectly across
the region.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, what are the opportunities for the people in the diaspora?
Yeah.
Because for each of these, the whole region, not just Kenya, we have a lot of our people, our friends, our relatives staying out there, either working or doing businesses. So what are the opportunities for those ones?
There are huge opportunities and diaspora is our key market. So we've been studying it. I saw the January statistics from CBK.
Yeah.
US is the largest remitter.
The US?
Yeah, at 224 billion or thereabout.
224 billion Kenya shillings.
Then Saudi is the second largest.
Saudi?
Yes.
Wow.
At 39 billion or thereabout. Then number 3 is Australia at 29
billion.
Thereabout.
Yes.
Then number 4 is the UK at 24. Then Germany at 22. Then Dubai at maybe 21.
21
so
billion.
Those are markets that remit
all
money
together
here.
Is a huge fund.
In Africa, Tanzania is the bigger one, 7B comes from
7
Tanzania.
billion.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think of East African community. I don't know. It's the data that is there from CBK.
Yeah. Yes.
But we solve a need for diaspora. One, they invest back home. You can send money, and projects may or may not be done.
Yes.
But you can buy from us. You get a unit that when you're here, you stay in. When you're not here, it can be rented out through short-term stay or Airbnb. Part of that rental income, say 60% can go back to you, 40% can go to your family. So one way we offer them is an opportunity to invest back home and manage their properties while they are away. There was a report by CBK, I think in 2022, that showed that the diaspora remittance, most of them come and are allocated to real estate, either building or buying real estate or paying rent. Then some of it goes to pay education
for their family
and most
members.
of it goes to mothers from that report.
Mothers?
Yeah. Most of the money goes.
What about the fathers?
They were not in the, I forget.
They are nowhere.
If you Google that CBK report, most of the money is in real estate, education, healthcare, and then anything sent to the family, it's the mother.
Is the mother.
Yeah, so the same can flow.
And that's for the extended family
For the
needs.
extended family needs. Yeah, if you're taking care of your people back home. So we give them a secure way to invest.
To invest and apply the funds
and apply
as desired.
Yeah, and apply the funds. And some of the projects in Two Rivers and Uganda generate rent in dollars. So you can get a return the same,
in the same currency.
In the same currency.
Wow,
and
that's amazing.
Most banks finance also diaspora. Yeah.
So you really become the trusted center or provider for those customers who are not necessarily able to manage the investments for themselves.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah.
So do you have a lot of the diaspora customers right now?
Yeah, we have a sizable number.
Okay.
And we actively go there to do business.
Update them and inform them what's going on.
Yes. And they are quite demanding.
Okay.
The expectations are the same.
They are used to processes that work, so they have to be
also
demanding.
elevate our performance.
They challenge you to become even better.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we will keep on sharing the contacts for Centum Real Estate, so that if you have any queries, you can address them directly, and they will meet your queries and address them. Now, what about within the country?
Yes.
I know you are also a strong proponent of the opportunities for the counties outside Nairobi.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you did Vipingo.
Yes.
But what about the rest of the country? Forget about Vipingo. The other counties in this country, in Kenya.
Yeah.
What are the opportunities there in your area?
There are huge opportunities in every...
Tell us a little bit about that.
In every county, and when we look at the data, so the largest, where there are big opportunities, Nairobi, even in terms of number of households.
The population is higher here, and probably the income levels are higher.
Yeah, so...
but there's still something.
So here there is 1.6 million households. The next one is Kiambu.
Kiambu has how many?
997,000 households.
997,000?
Yes, or thereabout.
Yeah.
Then the other one is Nakuru. Then there is Kakamega. Then there is Kisumu, there is Mombasa. So in every county anyway, where there is county headquarters and there are secondary cities, there is opportunity for housing.
Yeah.
And there is opportunity to do mixed use developments. Other developers have done and they've been successful. The county opportunities are not well tapped. So we also would want to expand to major cities across
the country.
And we've been studying to see where would it be ideal for us to go. We went to Vipingo, Kirifi, which is good.
Yeah.
It's hard to distinguish between Nairobi and Kiambu. They are integrated.
Joined at the hip.
But we if we segment the region, we are thinking of going to other parts, and we actively go around the country to engage. And I think there are opportunities to expand around. Yeah, and there are very successful real estate businesses in every major town. Yeah.
I was actually surprised to hear that the rentals in counties like or cities like Nakuru, Meru, are actually growing very fast. Even
That's
the
correct.
rental incomes.
Yes.
Because the demand is so high. I think there was an element also of the displacement that came with the post-election violence some time back.
Yeah.
That really pushed the demand into those counties.
Yes.
But do you think that is sustainable?
Because of the devolution system, these county headquarters have a county, they already have a county team that is there. Two, they do various economic jobs. Like let's take an example of Nanyuki. They do all these things for export. There is the military. It's a cosmopolitan town. Nakuru the same. There's a lot of everyone. It's just a replica of Nairobi. So there is demand for housing, and people, even real estate in general, plus offices, and people are working there and they are generating rental. They are generating money every month.
Yes.
And they need nice places to stay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the economic activity is there on a permanent basis. You won't say it will dry up. And if the country continues to industrialize, increase its IT services, then there is more revenue coming into those areas. Yeah. And it's cheaper to stay there than in the city.
Than in the big city, like Nairobi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what about the young ones?
Yeah.
What opportunities are there for them for investment? And I'm asking this in the context of that we know that our demographic, whether in the region or Africa in general, is showing that we are growing very fast, the younger generation. That's why the demography is getting heavy.
Yeah.
People less than 35 years.
Yes.
What's there for them, the young people?
These are what that Kenya housing basic report. Between the age of 0 to 24 years, we have 29 million Kenyans, 29.5 or thereabout, and we're in total 53.
So that's almost half.
Significantly higher than half.
Actually, it's more than half.
More than half, yes. Yeah. So that's where the bulk of the population is. Those are our future customers. The ability for them to make money because of education and digital and
global
internet.
Exposure.
They can work for anyone, anywhere in the world. They are accustomed to a sharing economy. So Uber, Airbnb, and the rest. So they are not attached to a lot of ownership. So they become the tenants and even investors. So it's just to pass the education of the need to invest. So you don't look at life now. You assume 10, 15, even assume you'll be here up to 80 years. You want to be able to take care of yourself.
Yes.
And have passive income throughout, whether or not you're in formal employment. You can work anywhere. So there are many ways to invest. So you have your cash, you have your money market, you have your bonds, you have insurance premiums, you have real estate, and many other options. So if you take that as a basket and you don't want to have your eggs in one basket, you can say in the basket of real estate, I want to have passive income of 100K or 50K
from rental income.
From rental income, and I want to buy where it's affordable, but where I can charge the highest amount of
and
rent.
Occupancy is high.
And occupancy is high, which are these aspirational neighborhoods. So I can come and buy a a 5 million shilling studio at Two Rivers, where my deposit is 10%, which is 500,000. And as a matter of fact, this house can be fully financed by KMLC.
And the rental will cover.
And the rental will cover, and the passive income I'm making, I'll pay down my loan, so that in 5 years,
I own the house.
I own the house, and that house can help me own the next one. I can run it irrespective of where I am in the country.
Yeah.
So let's give an example. This year, we've just received, this is March, we've received two checks. If your disposable income was 10,000 shillings, after you've paid everyone, you've wasted your money, you've shopped, you're left with 10,000 shillings, in your account, you should have 20,000 as saving.
Yes.
Because you have two checks.
Yes.
If your disposable income was even 1,000, in your account you should have 2,000 shillings. If your disposable was 100, you should have 200. But if you check, because the culture of saving is not there, you may have 0. Not that you didn't have, you had all the money, but it went away.
You didn't use it properly.
So if you say your goal in 2025, my disposable income after shopping, doing everything, and entertaining, enjoying myself is 10,000 shillings. For 12 months, I'll have 120,000. Forget about the investment element.
Yes.
Let's say even I allocate 20,000 to thank myself in December for having saved.
You give yourself a bonus.
Yeah, and book a flight to Mombasa and waste it. Then I'm left with 100,000.
Yes.
I can allocate part of it to money market, part of it to bonds, and part of it to pay a deposit for a house.
And it's earning you some passive income.
So that's how you start some wealth creation with just the first your set of habits. So you have asked me about young people, me included. You just create that culture of saving, and you create a wealth platform where then you have enough deposits in different pools that can afford you to buy while you're living the same quality of life. So in simple terms, say in 5 years, what do I want to do? In the last 5 years, whether employed or not, how much money did I make? How much of that do I have? And how much assets and liabilities do I have? More often than not, you may have earned 10, 20 million. You have nothing in assets. You have memories, but you can't store memories of how you spent all that money, despite working very hard. So in summary, I would encourage them to have a plan, save, and you can afford anything.
Yeah. I'm asking you this because there's this general misconception that for me to save or invest, I must be having a very big, 6-figure salary or pay. I must be earning a lot.
No.
That is usually the excuse that I'm getting when we talk about savings and investment. So they'll tell you, oh, you are talking about savings and investment because you earn big money. Me, I only earn 100,000. So I don't have anything to invest.
In fact, when you earn big money, that's when it's difficult to save.
Because your expenses are even high. And as you said earlier, the expectations on others from you are also very high.
Yeah, so
all the Harambee cards come to you.
Yeah, but also naturally you get your first job. You're staying in Ruaka, in a nice neighborhood, in a nice house, no problem. You get a promotion, and you starting to feel that neighborhood is not as safe as I thought. Then this house is too small. Standard. I can't. You upgrade.
Yes.
So you erode everything.
You increase your expense.
Yeah, you increase your expense. You erode any additional money. Then you work harder. You're promoted. Now you start matatus become not very fine. You want to have your car.
Not just any car.
When you have that car, also your trips across Kenya increase. So every promotion, you spend more. So you're not. So you have to delay that gratification. That you don't need to change your neighborhood. You don't need to change your house. So that then every incremental shilling you get, I'm not saying you live badly, but every incremental shilling you get, at least 80% is available to you to invest and to change your life in a more meaningful way
and sustainable way.
Because should anything ever happen, you need to have the same quality of life, and more often than not, things happen.
Yeah. When I was growing up, we used to be told that we must always save something for a rainy day.
Yes.
So I guess that's what you are telling us, that we save something, and we are lucky now because there are many ways of saving something for a rainy day. You've given all those ways that you can invest. We are spoiled for choice. And diversify. Okay, now, I read somewhere that in 2024, you are declared or you are awarded top 40 under 40 men. It's true.
Someone, I think my team nominated me.
Oh, okay.
But it's something that recognizes people. So I was privileged to get the recognition.
You got the award, the recognition.
Yes.
How did you feel about that?
I was happy. I was
That's
happy
preparing for my next question, so be prepared.
That someone had recognized. And also now I think the top 40 under 40 work under me are many. So also it opened a way to recognize what we are doing.
It was really a chance to celebrate your achievements so far. And probably inspire you to do even better. Now, my next question is, having become a leader at a very early age, do you ever sometimes feel like your age is a disadvantage? Like when you stand with your peers, probably who are, your fellow CEOs in various, either in your industry or in other sectors, do you ever feel like it's a disadvantage sometimes when you are that young? Somebody described you as the tall man with a youthful look. Do you feel like sometimes that works against you in your leadership journey, or it's okay?
It's okay. I don't feel disadvantaged. But I think the way the society has been set up, people get to CEO level in their 50s. Which
gray hair.
But first, economically, these people have worked for extended period of time.
Long periods of time.
They have saved, they have invested, they are wealthy. So when you get it at a younger age, yes, you are CEO, but a broke one.
You don't look like you're broken.
No, I'm just saying, as in, comparatively, you've not gotten the same economic.
You're not at the same level.
No, you're not at the
with
same
your
level.
peers.
With your peers, the neighborhoods you're in are not where those. That's the only. But now, if you leave comparing yourself, that's the first point of starting problems. The only disadvantage is maybe economic, but that's a function of time. But the rest, actually, there is a bit of respect that people want to know how.
How did you make it?
How did you make it? But also, it gives you the element of remaining humble. That a CEO is a high risk job. You can be asked as, remind us what you do here again. You can be out anytime, so there are no securities when you are the top. So you have to keep hard and to sustain yourself. But I haven't felt a disadvantage outside of that economic disadvantage, which is a function of time. You've not built capital for that, and you've not inherited, unless you've inherited, but you've not built enough capital to compare to a CEO who is 50, who is 49, who has worked
for
longer
years,
than you. But that is rife, and everyone has an opportunity.
Okay. Tell us about one time when you have miserably failed, either in a project or something.
Okay. Yeah, that's a failure.
So that project is called what?
That's Cascadia.
Cascadia.
It should have been finished 2 years ago. It's not been finished.
And like Centum Real
Yeah.
is way, what do you call it? Behind
Very.
schedule.
So there I look at it every day. It's
a
outside
failure.
my window. It's a failure, but also it's taught me many lessons that you can fix any problem.
What did you learn?
Okay, it's there with customers. So these customers want questions. When will you finish? They are shareholders. When will we get our return? What are you doing about it? So it taught as you need to think differently. You can look at it as failure or look at it as an asset.
Now, there's something that happened, and I guess you were still the CEO that time.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk about leadership
Yes.
in a crisis situation.
Yeah.
And I will just give you the example of COVID-19,
Yes. Yeah.
because we all went through it,
Yes.
and it had different impact on different sectors.
Yes.
So just tell us how you dealt with that global crisis and how it affected you and what you had to do, as a leader to sort of like overcome the challenge.
So yeah, COVID was quite a bad experience for everyone. But we were in Vipingo, but all of us were too young to even mind about anything. And unfortunately, we got COVID. You remember when they were putting people in
quarantine?
In quarantine.
You went to quarantine?
No, we missed it by a whisker.
Wow.
One day, we woke up, my driver couldn't breathe well.
Oh my goodness.
He came saying he's not feeling nice. Me, I had no sense of smell. My other colleagues had pains in their legs or things like those.
Wow.
So anyway, it got bad for the driver, so we took him to hospital. And his test came as positive for COVID. So we were rounded up.
The whole office.
The all of us. But that last day, it was, because it was in Vipingo, it was fine. It was hard to get all of us. But I think on a Friday or Saturday, they stopped putting people on quarantine. But we missed it.
So you would have gone to quarantine
Would have
if
gone
they
to
had not
quarantine.
removed that requirement.
Yeah, would have all been quarantined in Kirifi. That's the easier bit.
Yes.
Now, in that August or July, there was no data on treatment or anything. There was something called long COVID. People who have mild symptoms, and when you Googled in Spain and other parts of the world, they would collapse and
just die
and go. So you have no data. You're in your own small quarantine. You do research online, and you even feel like you're about
available.
you're stopping to breathe. So the psychological torture was fast. Insane, too much. That's my experience on COVID. I got it before vaccine, before anything, when they were doing quarantine. But anyway, I recovered and we moved on. But we never shut our operation. Remember, construction had some exemption. So we spoke to our contractors. We agreed to proceed with construction.
Continue with the construction.
We said maybe one day when it ends, we will be, if we finish and our homes are complete, we'll actually be at the forefront.
You will be
ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Then we got intercounty passes. I don't know if you knew about. There were no flights from Mombasa.
So they were like essential services, classified.
Yeah, you'd go and get a travel pass to travel. So I used to come to Nairobi.
For materials and people.
You drive all the way from Mombasa, but the road was empty. There was a stop in Motito. They check your passes. You come this way, you go back. So we used those to travel to and from Nairobi to just facilitate business. Real estate, you can't work from home. You need to be on site.
Yeah, true.
But I was there with the team. The team was there with us. We went through COVID together, recovered, continued with selling, construction. And in the country, a lot of construction happened during COVID because banks gave moratorium on loans.
Yeah.
People used that amount to build a lot. People were building. And then this staying at home was not nice. So you needed to be in your own place. So people made a decision to build. So it worked in
To
our,
continue.
from a business, it worked in our favor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you chose to do as a leader then and leading your team was to turn the risk and the crisis into an opportunity. And you're saying, when no one else has units to sell,
Yeah.
we will have units to sell because we have worked right through the crisis to develop and to finish.
Yeah, but I didn't know we were working through a risk or anything. We just said we have nothing else to do.
Yeah,
We
but I guess you took the
carry on.
precautions that you could have taken
Yes.
for your people,
Yes.
but you didn't allow them to go and stay at home.
Yeah, and I was also not at home while they were at work.
And you were with them.
We were with them.
You worked with them.
Worked with them. The reason I remember is because we convinced the contractor that should we have these homes completed, we'll be ahead of everyone. And actually in October or something, that's when we handed over Awali, in October 2020. Just immediately when the lockdown was lifted. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay, that's amazing. How do you develop your leadership skills?
Okay, yeah. So first, reading and just identifying.
Yeah, you talked about reading all the time.
You get anything.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. Acquired, how I built this. There are many. The CEO's diary. There are very many podcasts you can listen to. And they interview former CEOs, owners, people who have started businesses. There are many podcasts that when you're in traffic or when you have time, you listen to. When you're working out in the gym, you listen.
You listen to something.
You listen to. Secondary, the greatest wealth you can have is your own health. And because I'm not getting any other body, it's this one.
It's just this one.
I have to take great care of it. Yes. So you have to make sure that it's in good shape, and if there's anything, you get it addressed. Then you also take trainings every so often to just get new skills, like where is the world moving, what are other organizations doing, because there's someone doing something better than
different,
you.
Yeah.
So you are out there running. You also have networks of colleagues who you share what you're going through, what you're seeing, and friends, and they share back. You also, I get to run a lot from the team. These guys, my own team, seem to know more than I know. So they also get to run from them. When you extend leadership opportunity, you see what was failing, someone has done it very well. And then also struggling but trying to remain humble. You know, when success sort of comes in, now I'm doing these interviews.
Yes.
Your head will swell like a balloon. You start feeling.
When people start congratulating you,
Yeah,
top 40, under 40.
Start feeling like
CEO
the world.
of Centum, so many billions in assets.
Yeah, you're God's gift to the world.
Yeah.
And then if they pop that balloon, then no one repairs balloons. So I have to remain humble.
It's gone.
It's gone. So I also have to be careful with this media publicity and looking like you're successful. Anyway, I'm not in any form or shape. So just trying to remain there, grounded. Yeah.
Okay. I think there's a common belief that you have to blow your trumpet for people to know you are successful.
Yes.
So you are sounding like you don't subscribe to that school of thought.
I don't, but you can't avoid it. Like now, even borrowing from gospel, it's preached every day from the rooftop for the last 2,000 years. If they keep quiet, no one will know about it.
No one will know about it.
So you have to preach your gospel from the rooftop, because no one will know about it. There are many things we've done, but we've not been able to articulate them well.
Yeah, true.
And there are some who have done nothing, but they have a good story.
Yes, they sell the story.
And they sell the story, so you have to. We were avoiding, but I have to. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. So I know you are a young father.
Yes.
What advice would you give to the other young fathers who might be watching?
First, what I've learned is you can't delegate being a father. You have to
do it yourself.
the formative years of your kids, that's the time you have time to spend with them. If it's gone, it's gone. They form their own opinions. They won't connect with you. So you have to be there, do homework, crawl. They don't care who you are. You're their father. You have to dedicate time to be present, because all these things you're doing, all said and done, it's your family.
Yes.
Yeah, you will retire, you'll go back to your family.
To your family.
Your family will be associated with you. Do the best you can to be a father, so that you don't have to regret. Do homeworks. Now they are a bit complicated, especially the English ones. There are some we do with my daughter, and she comes back, they were not correct, and she's very happy.
And she's blaming you.
No, that input came from the father.
You told me this is the answer. And I'm sure she has told the teacher. My dad told me.
Yeah, so also, yeah, they see you're vulnerable, you can fail.
You also have to do homework yourself to understand the new curriculum.
Past participle, I don't know what. I have to read some grammar verbs I didn't care about. But if you're asked, you have to answer. You have to answer. Now they do other subjects, French, Germany, which you have no clue what it is. I don't say. So you can see how the kid is happy that they can't ask you anything. That's the beauty of being a parent.
I know. It's the beauty of parenthood and the challenge of
be present if you can. Dedicate time. It's a short period of time. I think up to when they are 16, they'll go. You'll be left with your significant other.
But with the right foundation.
Yeah, if you can, so that you're not regretting. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And don't be afraid. Wow. They all come with their plate.
Wow.
Sorry,
I forgot to ask you about how you finance your projects, because they are mega projects.
Yeah.
I don't know, one is worth 20 billion. Is it this one or Vipingo?
Vipingo.
20 billion Kenyan shillings.
Yeah.
So how do you do financing for that kind of a project?
So we do three forms of financing.
Yeah.
We have our own equity, which is our profits from projects.
Yes.
We have
the retained earnings.
Yeah, we have customer deposits, and we have debt. Those are the three
from different financiers.
From different financiers. But largely we've operated debt-free, just with our own profits, our own equity and customer. So it's a capital right in some way. It's customer-funded business model. We are a subsidiary of Centum Investment, doing real estate business. Our assets under management are 40 billion. 40 billion. We have a pipeline of 10,000 homes. Wow. We sell homes, and we also sell service land, like plots. We invest in anchor projects, depending on the project. We have a project in Nairobi, in Vipingo, and in Uganda. So in each of these, we'll do the anchor that will bring all the other projects. Yeah. We have completed 1,250 homes or thereabout. 90% of investors there are getting rental income. Wow. And the value of those homes have gone up. We have others under construction, and we'll continuously continue with development. We manage these projects post-completion for the owners, and we create passive income. Yeah. We grow your wealth, and we create a generational income, because these assets, a house it's not perishable. It will be there in 50, 60 years. It can be passed to your next generation.
Wow, there you have it. Now that's Mr. Kenneth Mbae, the Managing Director and CEO of Centum Real Estate company. Young CEO, he's only 38 years. So Ken, we want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for taking your time.
Thank you.
In your busy schedule, to talk to us, give us the information, share your knowledge, share your journey with us. It will be very helpful for us, even as we make decisions on investments, what to invest in, how to create the discipline, because at the end of the day, what we are trying to figure out is how to get ahead, how to build financial security and independence for ourselves. So thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us today. My name is Mary Wamai, and this is the Executive Table. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.